I'm Brandy June, and you're watching The Knowledge Fairy. Hold on a sec. Okay, that's a little better. Today we're going to talk about sleep. Isn't it great when you can go to bed and get a nice 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep? Well, you see, it didn't always used to be like that. Used to be, people would sleep in 2 shifts. People would go to bed for a few hours, and then they'd get up for a few hours, and then they'd go back to bed for a few hours. And this was until about the 1850s. A lot of our information is thanks to the work of A. Roger E. Kirsch, a history professor at Virginia Tech. He's done extensive research on the history of night and found some pretty peculiar references to sleep. Did you know that 2 sleeps is mentioned as far back as ancient Greece? For example, one character in the Canterbury Tales, written by Geoffrey Chaucer at the end of the 14th century, decides to go back to bed after her first sleep. Oh, wake me in the morning. Or that a doctor in England advised study and reflection between first and second sleep. Study and reflection, you say? That is boring. And what I mean by that is that a physician in France in the 16th century believed that laborers could get pregnant easier if they made love after waiting till the first sleep. There were also plenty of other things that people did during the break between sleep 1 and sleep 2. I think we need a montage. Montage! So after doing all of that, you'd probably need another sleep. So if people are having so much fun during all this time, what caused the switch to one 8-hour block of sleep? By the 1920s, the concept of 2 sleeps was pretty much non-existent. And to find out why, we'll have to put a little light on this. Before the Industrial Revolution, people generally went to bed when the sun went down because candles were expensive. So from the time someone went to bed till when they got up the next morning, it could be about 12 hours, even if they were up for a few hours in the middle of the night. And even then, some people stayed in bed then. However, with the Industrial Revolution, things changed in kind of a snap. The Industrial Revolution, with its invention of a cheap, artificial light source, is the main perpetrator to why we sleep in 1 long shift instead of 2 smaller shifts. Staying up late was now an inexpensive thing to do. Spending so much time in bed was now thought of wasteful because people had the light to do other things late at night. Now, there's also biological evidence that we evolved to sleep in 2 shifts, and it's actually a healthier thing to do. However, I'm certainly not a medical professional, and you shouldn't take medical advice from my webisode. But it is really interesting to think that our ancestors slept in a different way than we did. And there's a ton more really interesting information on the history of sleep that you should totally go look up because I don't have time to cover it in this webisode. And, in fact, I think I'm gonna go take my second sleep right about now. Belly rubs, don't they? Oh yeah. Mwah.